Enclosing more than 18 acres and 194 million cubic feet of air, the Tropical Islands Resort is currently the largest uninterrupted volume in the world, the largest indoor water park in the world, and the container of the world's largest indoor rainforest. Located in the sparse municipality of Krausnick-Groß-Wasserburg, 30 miles south of Berlin, Germany, the resort was built inside a former blimp hangar in 2004 and has been in successful operation since opening day. In an era marked by serious debate concerning climate change, material scarcity and the conflicts of globalization, the Tropical Islands Resort reveals a crucial link between architectural design and the public response to some of the greatest challenges facing contemporary society. As it reflects popular attitudes towards the climate, nature and culture, the existence and popularity of the Tropical Islands Resort begs the question: how has the architectural interior become a tool for aesthetic mediation in the 21st century, and what are its precedents? Chapter 1: The Bunker Bubble. Between Community and Immunity. The air we breathe, which, in the Western tradition, has long been the ethereal subject of our surroundings, our atmosphere, and our space, can no longer be described under such stable terms. Sampling from any coordinate on Earth reveals that human influence has left the air a mixed and unbalanced soup spanning continents. In response to the apparent contamination of the air, the gas mask was invented by Louis Haslet in 1849 and patented as a lung protector. The bottom half acts as an air filter for immunization, while the top half provides the opportunity for communication with the outside world. In the 20th century, the gas mask became a model for two types of the architectural interior. Those concerned about the selective weaponization of the air, as it was initially practiced in the First World War, developed architectures of pure immunization in response. Bunkers, such as J. Swayze's underground homes of 1964, were modeled after a single-story suburban home, entirely designed to distract its occupants from the potential threats of the Cold War happening above ground. But while a significant portion of the population was ready to bury themselves underground, a number of architects imagined new social ecologies suspended above the earth and sustained within vast interiors to mitigate their reliance on natural resources. A climate-controlled modern air, after all, meant potentially implementing a new system of human commerce and everyday experience, from the visual landscape to the potential new role of agriculture within society. Among the most influential was Buckminster Fuller's Cloud9 project of 1960. His intentions can be summarized by one of his own poems: to make the world work, in the shortest possible time, through spontaneous cooperation, without ecological offense, or the disadvantage of anyone. The distinction between the two interior types is a political one, between pastiche opacity and futuristic transparency, between short-term and long-term solutions, and between paranoiac individualism and ambitious communitarianism. Though, ultimately, it is their respective levels of success in entering the consumer market that marks their greatest difference. The projects that belong to the first group demonstrate relatively little trouble with funding, typically supported by investors including the 1964 World's Fair and nervous billionaires, when compared to those of the second, which have generally gained little traction beyond the media of exhibition, drawing, art piece and critique. Bunkers are financed by the fearful, bubbles are hidden away in textbooks. The Tropical Islands Resort is a manifestation of the two main responses to the environmental crisis. The Tropical Islands Resort is a bunker bubble. Looking below the horizon line, Tropical Islands plays into nearly every technique of pastiche and escapism imaginable. Looking above, it can be mistaken for one of the cloud structures Fuller never dreamed would exist in his lifetime. Though the membrane is in stark contrast to nearly everything below it, the resort's operators have since made no attempt to veil it. No blue paint to resemble the sky above it. No pixel or projection screen to operationalize its resort-wide visibility. The structural membrane, as a final remnant of its former role as a blimp hangar, is decidedly left intact. Intact, that is, except for the 44 transparent ultraviolet-coated PVC panels that were installed to replace the southern section of the membrane's metal structure, allowing a generous amount of sunlight throughout the day. If the sky over Germany lost its color, so too would its interior. Though it is an immunological bubble of the highest technical ability, it still maintains a relationship to the world around it. If the tropical island's resort is a sign of things to come, given the looming volatility of the climate, it is somewhat assured that the future will not be strictly made up of bunkers, nor of bubbles. Though humankind rarely owns up to the destruction it has caused or the threats it finds imminent, it is the trace amounts of what it can, that has always offered the potential for equilibrium.